Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Joshana here with another book chat. Today I am talking about Nevernight. I finally read this after hearing like everybody talk about it. And I buddy read this with Kelsey Lee Reads, so I will link her down below. And basically, long story short is I loved this book. I give it, I would say, I don't know what I actually did on Goodreads, but I'm going to say 4.5 Pushinicorns. I wanted to say 5. I'll tell you, though, why I wouldn't say 5. So Nevernight follows our main character, Mia, this girl right here, and basically she's going off to train to be an assassin. That's the moral of the story. And in this world, there's just a lot of like political BS going on, basically. And then there's different lands within this world. And yeah, I thought their different cultures were really interesting too, their traditions and whatnot. You learn a little bit about that because at this little assassin training place, there's kids, they're younger, they're kids from all over in this world. So you learn about their different cultures and what they're like, and I thought that was really cool aspect. Something that I found really interesting was that in this world, it seemed like the inspiration was pulled from a lot of different cultures in our world. There's a lot of Italian stuff happening, religion, and then the language as well. I feel like there was quite a few places where they're like speaking Latin. They're calling the nobility like Don or Dom and Domna, right? Is that what it was? Yeah, Donna and Don. And just different other very Italian sounding names, very Italian sounding kind of traditions, like Catholic Church, like Roman Catholic Church traditions. And I personally didn't feel like it was like copying it. It just was like inspired from it. But then at the same time, there was some like Scottish or Irish stuff, like saying like, oh, I ken that, and that is like meaning like I know that, but it's saying like I ken, is how I hear it in my head anyways. I don't know if that's right. And then some of it felt almost like an Asian culture. Some of the other, like, it was like tribal and whatnot. And then the characters I felt were fleshed out really well. That leads me into why I pull back from 5 stars for this, is that I enjoy the characters. I thought they were done well. I thought they were fleshed out well. I thought they were true to themselves overall. The only thing here is that I wasn't fully invested in the characters just yet. I love Mia. Like, I love her. She's great. I would have been very upset if something happened to her, like if something really bad happened to her, but like she's the main character. I was pretty sure she wasn't gonna like die or something, you know? But then all the other characters, I cared about them and I liked them, but there weren't so many that I was like super invested in. And Mia's just a badass. She's not like unbelievably a badass though. Like, she's not just like freaking amazing at everything she even tries to think of doing, even though she's never done it before ever in her life. Like, she has to work at it sometimes. There's certain things that she just has a natural ability for, but then there are other things that she needs to work on and she needs to train for. Also, something here about the book is there are some like powers. There are magical powers in this world a little bit. And it is seen as like blasphemous by like the large majority, and especially by the powers that be, right? The rulers and such. And Mia does have some powers in this regard. And it was really cool. It was really interesting. I really like, I don't want to get too much into that because I don't want to get all spoilery, but I really like the kind of magical powers that are happening here. And there's a certain character that I love named Mr. Kindly, and I won't go too much into him right now, but oh my god, I love him. Like, I can't even deal. And then something about this book that I had heard some people kind of complain about is the footnotes. there are footnotes, not all throughout, like not on every page, and there's whole chapters will go by without any footnotes, and I can understand how it bothers people sometimes. I loved these footnotes though. They were so funny. It starts out with the kind of prologue thing, the caveat emptor, is basically someone saying, let me tell you a story about this girl, right? So then the footnotes, to me, the whole book was kind of like someone, I was reading it like a friend telling me a story. Like I felt like it was just a friend telling me a story and being like, oh, let me tell you this part too, so you know that. Oh, maybe I didn't mention that before, but this. And sometimes they were so funny. Like this one right here, it says, the girl didn't know what they'd meant. She could hear no music. The footnote says, she didn't know how to listen yet. You people seldom do. So it's like someone talking to you, right? And again, I can see how some people feel like it pulls you out of the story, but I thought they were really witty and funny and clever, and I thought it was done well. It didn't bother me at all. So that's my non-spoilery. Definitely recommend this. Cannot wait for God's Grave. I really hope I get a little bit more involved in the characters. Getting into kind of spoilery stuff now, so if you have not read this, definitely step away now. I don't want to ruin anything, and you should totally read it. Like, go read it now. So the big thing that happened, well, two big things, was number one, so Mia has her like love interest Trick, or Trike. Forgive me, I'm not sure. Anyway, I called him Trick. In my head, it was Trick. It's Tric. So, anyways, Trick, and I really liked him. I enjoyed him overall. I liked their relationship was cool or whatever. It wasn't insta-lovey by any means. It developed over time, and it never was even like, oh my gosh, this all-consuming, passionate thing. Like, they're at a school to learn to become assassins. Like, they clearly understand that this can't, like, really become, like, we're not gonna get married and have kids and, like, raise a family. That's not gonna happen. You get to the end, and Trick dies. He gets murdered, and I was kind of like, oh, man. But I wasn't devastated. I wasn't devastated at all, and I felt like I was supposed to be, but I just really wasn't, exactly. And so the girl who killed him, Ashlyn, throughout the whole book, Ashlyn is Mia's friend, right? She comes across like she's her ally. There's another girl, Jessamine, who's like her sworn enemy. They hate each other. She's afraid Jessamine's gonna try to kill her. And then these powers that Mia has, and so the church, there's like a little symbol of the church, it's like on a necklace that Jessamine gets a hold of, that's anointed by a priest, and it like does crap to Mia. She can't handle it, like it affects her, it's painful for her, and Jessamine gets a hold of this and uses it against Mia. Well, then Mia and Ashlyn like fight her off. And then Ashlyn steal it from Jessamine and swap it out for a replica, okay? And in this scene, when Ashlyn was like, I'll take it and I'll get rid of it, don't worry, I put a little note in here. I was like, she's going to use that against her later. I don't like this. And so then, at the end, when it is revealed that Ashlyn, I didn't know how she was going, I thought she was just going to, like, fuck Mia over in this like competition or whatever. I did not see it coming, the level of backstabbing that Ashlyn and her brother did. And so then when she killed Trick, I was just kind of like, well, yeah, we saw that coming, didn't we? Mia is called a Darken. That's her like powers. She can basically mend shadows, like she can rend shadows, like bend them to her will. She can step in and out of other shadows. She just kind of like lives within the shadows. And Mr. Kindly is her little shadow cat. He's like her cat that's not a cat. And I love him. I love talking cat characters, as you all know if you've seen my other videos. So yeah, give me some talking cats and I'm happy. And I love Mr. Kindly. He was so funny. So right off the bat, I was like writing ooh with a little heart, like I loved it. If the unpleasant realities of bloodshed turn your insides to water, be advised now that the pages in your hands speak of a girl who was to murder as maestros are to music. who did to Happy Ever Afters what a saw blade does to skin. If that is not some vivid imagery, I don't know what is. Another ha-ha, like, yeah, howling like a dog who's just returned home from a hard turn's work to find another hound in his kennel, smoking his cigarillos and in bed with his wife. Like, it's just funny. Like, I was laughing out loud quite a few times. Oh yeah, I was kind of irritated when she's healing from getting her arm literally hacked off, and they have magic and they fix her, but it still has to like heal or whatever. And then this Ashlyn girl is like, ooh, let's sneak out, even though they just got told not to sneak out and saw someone get beaten within an inch of their life for sneaking out. And she's like, oh, the Reverend Mother said we weren't permitted to leave our rooms after 9 bells. And she's like, you always do what Mother tells you. I wrote, after getting your arm cut off? Yes. Like, yes. I would be like, yeah, bitch. I got my arm chopped off for disobeying. Not even for disobeying, for just doing something they didn't like. I'm not gonna blatantly disobey them. Who knows what they'll do? Oh yeah, some of the romance, like the love scenes, kind of, like, they were kind of whatever. Right here where it's like, looking at him through her lashes. I couldn't look at someone through my lashes if I tried. Like, that's not a thing. So the sex scenes, they were like hot and steamy or whatever, right? But I was like, they're really experienced for being, well, inexperienced teens. She's literally slept with one dude, one time, and I don't know how many he has, but he's, you know, her age, so I can't imagine it's like, oh, in the dozens or anything, you know? And, yeah, they were like super experienced, knowing all about oral and this and that, and like apparently being very good at it. And I was just kind of like, that's not what it's like though when you're 16. But yeah, then when you're doing there's some flashback scenes, and it was flashing back to showing her like really using her Darkin powers. And I was like, damn, she needs to use this shit. It was good. So there you have it, another book chat that I'm gonna have a great time trying to edit down into something shorter than like 15 minutes, hopefully. I definitely highly recommend reading this book. I cannot wait for God's Grave now. I can't remember when it comes out, but it's pretty soon, I think, like the next month or two. So I will definitely be grabbing that when it is time. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have read this, definitely let me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't, well, I hope you didn't watch this whole video because you just got like everything spoiled for you. If you didn't like it, definitely let me know that too. Let me know why you didn't like it. Maybe there's stuff I didn't notice. I mean, I hope I still love it even if you tell me stuff, because I really loved it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.